When you think about the Joe Biden question, do you think the guy who was defeated by the stairs, got taken down by his bike, lost a fight with his jacket, and regularly gets lost, makes it 4 more years in the White House? And you know who's waiting behind him, right? Vote Joe Biden today, hit Kamala Harris tomorrow.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
And that might be more true than ever. Welcome. Hope everyone is doing well on this fine Sunday evening. So we're going to go through some rumors that we heard recently. So we'll start off with what we know. So we know, although the Biden campaign, which is interesting, is denying that this happened, but you'll see from the commentary from both sides that it did indeed happen. I actually watched the flight leave his home in Delaware and go to Camp David. So I know President Biden went there today, and it was reported both before and after that Biden was going to speak with his closest advisors and his family, whether or not to continue his quest for reelection. So we knew that was going to happen. It was allegedly supposed to take place this afternoon at Camp David. And then as soon as that time had passed, we got 2 conflicting rumors out of it. And we also got a denial from the Biden camp that this meeting never happened. So I tend to lean more towards the first one. And the first one is from former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly. That's the source of the information, who has always been a credible reporter, in my opinion. Kind of an asshole, but who cares about all that? So this is the quote from Bill O'Reilly. So this is from one of the reporters. President Joe Biden is withdrawing from his campaign, according to Bill O'Reilly. The decision has been made that the president will quit the campaign for 2 reasons. Democrat internal polling says he cannot recover from the debate, and the fundraising has all but dried up, or is drying up, is the direct quote. We know the fundraising isn't great. We all heard the response to the debate performance from the former Vice President Joseph Biden. So this is not surprising. This is consistent, and this makes sense to me. This is my lean, my direction, where I think it's going. So on the other side of it, as reported from multiple outlets, President Biden's family encouraging him to stay in the race, according to a new report from the New York Times. The quote, strongest voice in the family for him to remain was Hunter Biden, who Joe calls the smartest man he knows. And I don't doubt that either, because who has more to lose right now than Hunter Biden? Obviously, he's facing all kinds of criminal trouble, and there'll probably be more uncovered as we go on. I don't doubt that Hunter didn't give a shit about Joe or legacy or what's in the best interest for the country or the party or anything like that. I would assume that Hunter tried to get him to stay in the race. I don't think that's crazy to think that would have happened. Other family members seem to be on board, with one grandchild signaling they wanted to be more involved, potentially with influencers. One of the strongest voices imploring Mr. Biden to resist pressure to drop out was his son Hunter, who the president had a long leaned on for advice. The New York Times reported Hunter Biden wants Americans to see the version of his father that he knows, scrappy and in command of facts, rather than the stumbling, aging president the Americans saw on Thursday night. So those are the 2 conflicting reports coming out of the meeting that the campaign said didn't happen. But we have 2 very strong reports that it did happen. Again, I religiously watch flight radars and stuff like that. Me and a couple others, and there was a strong indication that The president did leave his Delaware home and did go to Camp David. So we have confirmation that it actually went. And again, you have two conflicting sides of this coin, where one saying that he is going to resign and step away, the other one saying that he's not, but both reference his meeting at Camp David with his family and closest advisors. So it remains to be seen. A furtherance of the report from the O'Reilly camp was that the Biden administration didn't know how to make the announcement. That's why they were slow playing it, but uh, they were convinced that they're 100% sure that this is what's going to happen. Look up the meme about Jimmy Carter. I've seen a couple of them. So, not seeking reelection. How are they pretty much stuck with Biden? So what BS are they going to pull to get him replaced? Uh, so it's going to have to be uh, heels up, at least for the time being. I know that there's some reports out there from Ted Cruz that it's going to be Michelle Obama. That's not legal. Again, I'll stick to my guns on that one. I know that there's grumblings and rumblings of all these people taking their place. It is unlawful to do so, and I think they're going to have a significant uphill battle trying. They knew what they had in this man, and for them to not have a contingency in place, it was surprising to me, but they don't. And deadlines have passed, and it is unlawful and unconstitutional to change it at this point. They're stuck with Joe and heels up. Like I said, the most probable explanation is they're going to have heels up go into the White House if they were to win, and then do something for removal and switch. But on the ticket, if Joe Biden steps away, you're going to have Kamala at the top of the ticket. So, uh, Heels Up can have Big Mike for a VP and step down day one. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's the only conceivable way that you'd do it. You would have uh, Heels Up and Big Mike, and then uh, Heels would step away and become allegedly the governor of California, with Newsom assuming the VP. So I've heard that theory. That would be lawful. It'd be shady, but what are the Democrats if not shady? Uh, so that'd be the only conceivable way that they could do it. But you're still running Kamala at the top of the ticket, with Mike behind her, and that's a scary place to be with Big Mike behind you. Um, and then some understanding that I've heard that one, that Kamala becomes governor of California, Newsom comes into the VP spot, and Big Mike and Gavin run the country. Michelle Obama's been asked repeatedly if she wants to run for president or wants to be a part of this, and she said no. I know that people change their mind and things happen, but she's been steadfast in her denial of wanting to be involved. For what it's worth, just as another data point. So, um, everyone they put up Trump against Trump, Trump wins by 3 to 4 percentage points. Yeah, I think so. There's some interesting developments that are going on right now. Fuck it, why not? We'll get into it right now. Just briefly, I wanted to keep this one kind of short. I'm trying to do like shorter content and so on and blah blah blah. So we'll see. But a majority of U.S. bases under U.S. European Command, or EUCOM, and France, Germany, Italy, Bulgaria, Poland, and Romania have now been placed in heightened alert with force protection conditions raised to Charlie. So those who aren't familiar with it, you have FCON normal, then you have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Delta is the highest, and we've generally been at Bravo since 9/11. It's just been our new normal, new operational standard. Charlie is there for when there's an imminent attack or information about an imminent attack. So that's going on as well. We've amassed a significant amount of troops on the border of Belarus with our NATO allies, and Russia is said to be amassing troops on the border with Poland. So the world's heating up. I think that's another way out. I mean, if you don't have to have an election because there's a big conflict, I think that's their best chance of winning at this point. So I think that's something to watch out for as well. But it seems that there's a lot heating up at the current moment, and this is interesting timing and interesting news. I would imagine if Biden is indeed going to step down, we would see it within the next, 3 to 5 days. Because the longer they draw it out, the more of a problem we have with it. So sounds like right shit show for the libs. Could be, could be. We'll see. Well, it truly remains to be seen what's going to happen because of this. But that's the conflicting reports. Again, just to recap, you have the Bill O'Reilly, who's a former host on Fox News. He says Biden is withdrawing. The family says he's not. And the Biden campaign says this meeting that they got all this information out of never happened. Never happened. So, been getting stupid ads here on YouTube all day with Barack begging us for those $5 to donate. Yeah, I know that their donations have all but dried up. And obviously you guys saw post debate what kind of shit was going on and what people had to say. So another thing to pay attention to, speaking of elections, since we're here, there is large scale rioting and mass demonstrations. We'll go over here to Defender. Mass demonstrations and riots by far left groups alongside with Islamists are going on tonight in the French capital of Paris, as well as several other cities around the country, in response to today's election results, which saw right wing populist party, the National Party, led by Marine Le Pen, who is a Trump ally or has been in the past, make major gains in the French parliament. Notice how all of the flags being waved by the demonstrators, none are French. Happen. Has his butt been wiped? I would assume that his butt's been wiped. Oh, there's a summer of love, some peaceful protesting going on at that French McDonald's. McDonald's. Man, I don't know what the last one is. Oh, just more. So there's obviously some tension going on in the world right now, but we all knew that. You've been paying attention. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what does indeed take place from this point forward. I don't know. Well, I was trying to see if there's anything else specifically before I popped off, but that seems to be kind of the thought process. I tend to lean more towards with the response we saw. I don't think the media made it any better for the Biden camp by saying how horrible it was, because if they wanted to spin it, that was the time to do so. If that's something that they wanted to do, is spin it and make it a positive for the Biden camp, they missed their window by coming out so hard. So we shall see. We shall see what happens in the coming days. If there's anything definitive, of course, I will pop back on. Be looking out specifically for speeches out of the Biden campaign or Joe Biden himself. you know that Karine Jean-Pierre is going to get questions on it tomorrow. She'll probably lie either way, but it will be the first official press briefing after all this news broke over the weekend. So I think this upcoming week will be instrumental in showing us what's about to happen. So fuck. Hang on, Bry, because I got to get to him. Hang on. The one downside. Dog Mama with WoW, it should be 12. It should be if they didn't nuke my channel. That would have been awesome. And let's go, Brandon from Bry. Thank you both. Thank you both. Biden is in the best shape of his life. Never been better. Devs have no reason to panic. I I I doubt that one. I doubt that one. I doubt that one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What's up, Dog Mama? What's up, Brian? Thank you. Uh, we'll see what happens going forward. Um, we should hear something this week. I mean, it almost has to be this week. So until next time, until I see some more information, but I thought it was important to get out that I am confident that the meeting in question did take place at Camp David. Because we're getting conflicting reports from both sides out of it. It just makes logical sense that it did indeed happen. As far as what came out of that meeting, obviously there's some division there, but I think that Hunter does want him to stay in office, and I also think that the Democrat establishment wants him to step down. So I think it's ultimately up to the potato in chief to decide what he wants to do. Um, and we know that's not possible. So I think based on that logic, the Democrat establishment probably wins out on this one. So we'll see. But all right. Like I said, I wanted to do a shorter one, but just wanted to get that out in there in the news. So hope y'all have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one.